Boom.
Are we on?
We are on. We are back.
Welcome to another fun-filled week of the Mead, Metal, and MMA podcast.
Friday.
I'm Kevin. That is over there is Brandon. We are your genuine hosts for this particular weekly event.
You're fucking tired and world-weary horse.
Horse? Yes, horses or something. I don't know.
The horses of the world.
Oof. Yeah, no. It was fine. We just wrapped up a gig a little bit ago up in Clovis. We appreciate our friend Ruben for the invite and letting us kind of open for the whole shebang.
Yeah, gave us, well, my copy wasn't free, but you didn't have to pay $5 for yours, I see.
That's right. I just got a little hand scrawled to my metal brother Kevin, and so thanks for the free CD, Ruben.
Yeah, thanks for the CD I bought a year and a half ago, Ruben.
See, sometimes good things come to those of us that wait.
Yeah, but we'll get into that on the metal aspect of it, seeing as how it was a metal show.
Well, and I guess really you could probably safely say that if it wasn't for you giving Ruben $5 a year ago and then bugging him about it every time you saw him, probably he wouldn't get that record put out.
That whole record should be dedicated to me.
But it's a good show we had. A little on the hot side, as August can be in eastern New Mexico.
Yeah, if you got about 5 inches of rain in your area and then it's a 90-degree day, it's fucking murder.
Yeah, well, see, and that's the whole thing. We didn't have to buy a sauna, so we're not one of those stooges.
Yeah, we didn't have to crowdfund for shit.
Yeah. All right, well, we get together once a week, talk about some of our favorite things of the day involving our three main topics, Mead, Metal, and MMA, thus the clever name of the podcast.
We are some wise motherfuckers, aren't we?
We have our moments. We're a couple of young idealists that like to go ahead and share our thoughts on some things that most of you don't care about all three at any given time. But
yeah, we are the few and the rare.
So let's get right to it. We'll pop right into Mead right off the bat. Green Man, here's what's going on with that batch. We're going to be moving it tomorrow. We're going to move it tomorrow, and we're going to go ahead and get the flavoring added in. That means green chili, and that means it's going to be about 10 days. That's all it really needs.
Yeah.
If we need to do some rounds of clarifying, it's going to push it back to September. If not, probably before the Conor McGregor fight coming up at the end of the month, we're going to have that bad boy ready to go.
That'll be great.
You know, the best case scenario is we get it moved tomorrow, get the flavoring agent in, green chili, and 10 days later, then we move it one more time, let it settle for a day, and then we start bottling. So 2 weeks.
Yeah, and green chili really doesn't need a lot of time to mingle with what it's going to be. I mean, as soon as it hits the mead, the flavor is there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and it stays for a very long time. We found through the aging process of keeping it around for, I don't think any of it lasted longer, about 6 or 7 months.
No.
But the honey does start to pick up, kind of get into gear, and kind of start to overtake the green chili with a lot of sweetness. Yeah. Which is why I kind of like younger Green Man, because I really like the green chili. You know, it's there.
The good smoky flavor right off the bat. It pairs really nicely with the honey.
Yeah. Yeah, it works really, really well. So that's kind of really the update. We don't really have anything going on beyond that. I know here pretty soon we're probably going to need to start a batch of long ships because we're going to be getting ready for fall here before long.
Yeah, we need to bring our big 3 back.
Yeah, well, one of them is Green Man. Yeah. And then, we can probably...
Troublemaker and long ships.
Troublemaker and long ships. We need to probably get those 2 batches started here sooner rather than later, probably sometime in September.
Yeah, it'd be good to have that ready to go by my birthday.
Your birthday's on January 1st?
Yeah.
Oh, you mean the end product? Yeah. Sure.
Yeah, have it. I
mean, I hope we have it together a lot sooner than that.
So, I don't want to get started. That'd be a great way to start the new year, but I won't have any troublemaker on my birthday. So
that's right.
Got to get going on it.
Other than that, I've really got nothing else on the Mead side.
Yeah, I had a bottle of Runestone last night. It was good.
Right.
I mean, it does not rank very high on the list of what we've done.
In your opinion?
Yeah, in my opinion.
Because, you don't care for the fruity or...
No, well, that's the thing. This really doesn't have a big old fruity kick to it. It's just, by itself, I think it's great. But when I start comparing it to, like, Troublemaker Long Ships, I like it way more than I did Sacred Tree. I'll say that.
Yeah, Sacred Tree was just too sweet for me.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that apple concentrate made it sweet supreme. After a little while, actually, the honey kind of came back out there, Yeah,
a little bit.
But by then, it was basically a carbonated beverage.
Sure. Yeah, it started creating a projectile weapon of sorts for some people.
Sorry, Daryl.
Hey, by the way, and happy birthday to Daryl. Birthday was yesterday.
Fuck yeah.
the day before Joe Rogan's birthday, which is today.
Wow. Wow, Joe Rogan and my grandmother have the same birthday.
Yeah, well, they have a lot of similarities.
Need to get her on his podcast so she'll fucking smoke some weed. Calm down.
Yeah, well, I don't know. That's kind of an ethical question. We never get that deep, but you think old people, that should be like the first thing. Hey, you're 70. Goodbye driver's license, but here you go.
Yeah.
Here's some
you get to stay home and get high all
medicinal
day.
cannabis. Yeah.
Yeah. Keep you happy about the whole thing.
If only. All right, but nonetheless, so that's pretty much it for the Mead side of it. Moving right along to the metal side of the business.
Oh man, I read a cool story before we get into the day's metal events that we've had. Ray Burton, who is the 92-year-old father of the late great Cliff Burton.
Okay.
He's the one who's been getting basically all of the Cliff Burton royalties for his involvement with Metallica. Yeah. Apparently, he's been taking that money from the royalties and not going out and buying fucking really nice vehicles or extravagant things. Dude's putting it back, all of it back into music scholarships.
Oh, well, that's really noble.
And he's been doing it ever since 86.
God, that's a little too warm-hearted for me. I don't know.
God, yeah, I know.
I thought you were going to say he's just like throwing money at random call girls because that's what would have happened if Cliff would have lived.
Just hanging out and beating off. Oh, yeah, he'd be a completely different father. He wouldn't have lived to be 92. But no, I thought that was really, really cool.
No, it is. I mean, and it's, I hate to say it, but it is so rare to see actual musicians or the works of musicians going back to add more musicians to the fold.
Yeah, no kidding.
I mean, it sounds like it's something that should happen a lot, but
in this day and age, when music programs are usually the first to go in schools.
Oh, absolutely, music and anything involving the arts,
right? Because who needs that?
Yeah, that's right. We don't want a more well-rounded society.
No, we're good with what we got.
That shit's for Europe. Other things going on metal-wise, new out this week, Devil Electric. If you're into doom metal with a lady lead singer, and one of us at this table is not.
All I'm saying is, if you do it, you got it. It's not able to be done by just any lady.
Yeah.
You come out there with those like Lizzie Hale, Hailstorm style vocals over doom metal, it just doesn't set the mood for me.
It's almost more like the chick from the Cranberries, I thought, but
yeah, well, without the little
yeah,
part.
yeah. Well, then that's maybe a good thing, but yeah. Yeah, I don't like Hailstorm, but Devil Electric is all right. They just had a new one come out like a week ago, so you can get it's on Bandcamp, which I'm actually. When I see you can really only get it through Bandcamp, and that's about it. I kind of respect the artists a little bit more because that means they're still hungry. They're still in the early stages. So maybe help them out. It's actually their second record. So
yeah.
Other new music this week? Got anything?
Looks like Metal Injection put out a list for the 100 greatest metal songs.
God damn, they always go with 100, don't they?
I don't know. Actually, usually it's like 50 or 20 sometimes.
But it's still an unmanageable number we don't want to cover on the whole thing.
Oh, yeah. No. Yeah, I was like, hey, if you guys got the next half hour, we're going to talk about 100 songs and our thoughts on each of them. No, just going through Metallica Until It Sleeps, number 88. All right. Ozzy Osbourne, Mama, I'm Coming Home at 72.
Okay. Popular radio ballad.
Marilyn Manson, 66.
I'll
but
get
who
the
gives
hell
a
out
fuck
of
about that? Opeth, Demon of the Fall, number 50.
Was that one of their early ones?
Super early, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So before they got all prog rocked out.
Slayer, Dead Skin Mask, 39. Tonight, Smashing Pumpkins, number 40. Since this is a metal list.
That's a little shocking, isn't it?
I mean, I just call it rock songs.
I dig the Pumpkins, but I wouldn't call them metal.
Jane's Addiction, Been Caught Stealing, 35.
Okay.
Going back to the metal thing. Soundgarden, Jesus Christ Pose, 24.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
God, they must have a lot of Soundgarden in the top 20 above that then.
Rammstein, Du Hast, number 20.
Jeez.
Cowboys from Hell, 17.
Okay.
Hangar 18 by Megadeth, 15.
Right.
Alice in Chains, Rooster, number 12.
Again, metal, huh?
Yeah. Nirvana, Teen Spirit, number 10. Number 9, a Slipknot song that I don't know the name. Kind of weird.
Metal Injection's big fans of Slipknot, I've noticed, on a lot of their lists.
Number 8, Soundgarden, Black Hole Sun.
Yeah.
9 Inch Nails, Closer, number 7. Sabbath True, number 6, Metallica. Number 5, Sepultura, Roots, Bloody Roots. Pretty good jam. Rage Against Machine, Killing the Name, number 4.
Wow.
Number 3, Machine Head, Davidian. That's really weird one to have up that high.
Yeah.
Seeing what they fucking ranked below it. Number 2, Pantera, Walk. And number 1, Korn, Blind. Wow.
So
on top of all that, Korn is number 1.
So if we went through their top 100 list and struck everything that we didn't consider to be metal, it would be about
It'd be like a top 10.
Like a top 10.
Yeah. And it would be a top 10 metal songs of the 90s.
All right. Try again, Metal Injection. Try again.
So, yeah, we did a little rocking today.
Yeah, we sure did. I already talked about it. We got an invite to play up at Robbins today. There was like a traveling, I don't know what kind of band. Well, according to Metal Injection, they'd be a metal band. Kind of an ambient band, I guess, is where you'd put Himosaurus, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I can hear, like from what we heard on the internet, I can hear like doom metal influences. But, yeah, I'd call them that.
They came in from Illinois, so they had a show in Joplin last night, stopped through here.
Yep, which is funny because when first we show up to Ruben's house, we're the only ones there,
right?
And then they show up, and we're just hanging out, shooting the shit,
right?
Just waiting for this gig promoter to get here.
Yeah, well, because Ruben was taking care of business.
Yeah, and I know it was lady related because anytime Ruben says I had some business to take care of somewhere, and he's very vague, it's lady related,
right?
And then he obviously stopped by for food.
Well, anyway, but thanks to him for getting the whole thing kind of up and running. A couple of local bands as well. Some guy came down from Denver. Again, real experimental ambient kind of stuff.
Yeah, seemed like a good dude.
Yeah.
What was his name? Daniel? Shit, Kevin? I can't fucking remember his name.
No, I'm Kevin.
No, I'm Kevin.
No, I don't remember. Was it like Fred or something like that? Or I don't remember.
I can't remember.
Frank. It was Frank.
Frank.
So, yeah.
But yeah, he did some really cool like ambient style, like kind of almost like retro synth horror music.
Yeah, it really was. I mean, kind of a pretty eclectic pedal board that he had, and really from the stuff we saw, because we had to break down and get the hell out of there, so we come back and do this. Really, I don't think the guy owns a pick. I think it was all kind of weird stuff he was doing.
Like brushing fingers over.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't like finger picking or anything like that. No, it was a weird, kind of very atmospheric kind of experimental is the easy way to call that music. So,
like you ever seen Manhunter, the first movie that had Hannibal Lecter in it?
Yeah, right. Okay.
It sounded like the soundtrack to that. It sounded like the last 20 minutes of that movie.
Dude could probably get himself a gig writing music for horror movies. Yeah. So he was a good dude. We weren't able to stick around for much again because we are loyal to, if for nothing, we are loyal to this podcast.
Damn right.
Himosaurus was going to play a little later. Ruben was going to play. I really want to stick around and watch that.
Yeah, me too.
But again, I mean, that's the reason we open is because we had to play. Right. Get our stuff broke down, get back to here so we can put together our weekly podcast. I thought about it yesterday. I thought we could do this thing on Thursday, so that would open up our Friday a little more.
Yeah, but
I don't mind doing that, but I don't want to make a habit of it. And we just did a Thursday podcast like a month ago. So.
Right. And we only do it like if one of us is going to be fucking gone.
Yeah. So
and we knew that. That's another reason why we went on first, because we wanted to get done before the Popo showed up.
Yeah. Well,
it's not like
it's only a block from the police shop up there, so yeah.
And in a neighborhood where it's pretty. I mean, if they're going to call the cops, they should probably be afraid because they'd have to hide all their meth.
Oh well, it is part of Clovis. It is a little
salty.
That's the right word for it. They are very salty.
I mean, the further north you go towards Thornton, once you get past Thornton and you're getting into those number streets, you're in a shitty part of town.
Right.
But he's right on the cusp of it. But even when we wrapped up, remember you saw that cop car just creeping by.
Right.
Waiting to hear some of that terrible metal.
Thinking, whoa, I know where I'm coming back later tonight. But, yeah, so Ruben was going to play, and then his friend LJ was going to play like Lowdown, I guess.
Yeah.
Is his band name. It was a good experience. I mean, we're not exactly a live band per se.
Yeah.
I mean, we have the means to pull it off. If somebody else is going to provide PA and stuff like that. But
yeah,
I mean, but that's not, and it's by design that way. We hit a crossroads 2 years ago now, where we decided, are we going to be a live band or are we going to record stuff? Because we couldn't do both.
Right.
Because both have very different needs. So we went the route of recording because there are no venues around here, really.
Yeah. Cheaper as well.
Yeah.
To a point.
Within some degrees. But so then, and naturally then, as it turns out, everybody we know, hey, why don't you come do a show? Well, we just don't have the means to do it. Thankfully, we kind of do. We added more equipment thanks to support from the folks buying our Mead.
Indeed.
Able to get Brandon set up. Yeah, I'm kind of the old school rocking a Les Paul and a Marshall amp, and you're kind of the newer breed with a
fucking rocking Hetfield
ESP
signature. And
yeah, with an ESP and an orange amp. Yeah.
Which is funny because that dude from Denver had the fucking the normal version.
Yeah,
the large version.
Like a 20 watt. You know, because you got about a 5 watt head, but god damn, it's obnoxiously loud if you want it to be that way.
Yeah, we recorded it. We're gonna listen to it here a little later. I'm curious to see how they because I could hear them both.
Right.
But we were also like fucking right there.
Right.
Because it wasn't that huge a garage.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing I have to worry about with that Marshall's, the carry on it, because it does have that big 12-inch speaker in it.
Right.
And that's what you have to worry about, because that's going to be the thing that's pushing air. That's the thing gets the cops called. It's not actually that orange. Probably you can turn it up to right where it's the same volume level, dB-wise, right in front of it. But when you start moving away,
and like starting to add a little bit of crunch,
50 to 100 feet, that's when the Marshall gets you in trouble. So.
Right.
But nonetheless, though, it was a good gig, and again,
and the drummer from Hemisaurus played drums for us when we were rocking Big Empty. It was really cool.
Yeah. I don't think we've ever had anybody sit behind a kit.
Yeah, if anything, kind of threw me off.
Yeah,
because I was like, shit.
Would you stop it, sir?
You're fucking me up, okay?
We are not used to doing this professionally.
We're like the Tenacious D business model. Our albums have drums, live we do not.
But again, it's a good experience, so thanks again to Ruben.
Thanks, Ruben. Thanks, everybody.
Other stuff in metal, I don't know if you want to do a this date in history or anything like that, or if you had any of that prepared. I do have one for you that's kind of weird here. There's a band by the name of Sawal, I believe is the pronunciation. It's S-A with a weird pronunciation thing behind it, W-O-L.
Sounds right.
Okay, obviously, when we start breaking down metal, there are 20-some-odd genres.
Yeah.
Doom metal being one of them.
Right.
Well, then you have subgenres of doom metal. So I stumbled across this band completely by accident. I'm not a fan. But their subgenre is Christian death/doom metal.
Because, that makes a lot of sense. There's a lot of anger in the Christian community. And a lot of sadness.
I don't know. I don't know. I just kind of just flip my wig a little bit. That's all.
Yeah, I mean, what the lyrical content cannot match the musical styling. Of course, from the vocals I heard, I couldn't understand a fucking word he was saying.
It's very, very growly, very,
He died for me.
And fuck the gays. It's that Christian music,
Okay, maybe they could have like some doom metal then.
Maybe there is some rage.
Like on the fucking Westboro Baptist Church record label.
So don't check them out, but I just thought that was an odd subgenre.
Yeah, really, the only big fucking birth today is Sir Mix-a-Lot.
Nothing wrong with that.
Born in 1963.
Baby Got Back.
U.S. #1 single. It was a number 56 hit in the U.K.
Well, people over in the UK need to get with it.
That's right. They're like 20 years behind us musically.
Yeah. They're probably still listening to Flava Flav right now.
We just barely figured out what Def Leppard was over here.
Other stuff. Oh, here's the other one. And it has to do with us personally. We're since we're doing a whole lot of various things. I mean, those of you know, the Mead side of it, we've always kind of been behind the whole movement of the hashtag Mead for Metal, because the Mead does buy us,
Mead fuels the metal.
That's exactly right. Now, the band name, Season of Woe, we'd kind of conjured up sitting around drinking copious amounts of liquor one night with you and me and Brett.
Yeah.
And we decided at the time to come up with a faux band. And we thought it'd
one
be
of those bands in theory.
Be kind of a clever idea. Yeah, we'd promote it like it was a band. We'd put up all this stuff. We'd have merch. We'd have all this stuff going on without an actual band really being existent. Well, then it turned out, I was like, well, I think you would recommend it. Well, fuck, why don't we just play some music maybe? And, and then it actually did evolve into a real band. So,
yeah.
Season of Woe, the very first collaborative effort we did on anything.
Right.
And that's been the band name 3 years now, probably.
That sounds about right.
Well, the thing is, so what we're kind of doing is kind of consolidating brand. Everything that we do across the board, really, is Echoes of Ancients, or Echoes of Asgard, if we're talking about our legitimate business ties. But Echoes of Ancients has always been our standard for everything except music. And I think we arrived at the decision yesterday that what we need to do is kind of move away from the Season of Woe and go ahead and brand it with everything else we're doing and wrap it into Echoes of Ancients.
Totally.
And which I kind of hesitate with that because I thought, man, well, it kind of makes us sound like a Wardruna or a Paleo Wolf or, but maybe not. I think it does have its underlying doom undertones because that's kind of the other direction we're going. We'd started off really wanting to make it a folk metal project, and we've kind of evolved that.
Yeah, we've kind of found out more about what we want to do.
Yeah.
Musically, the styling and everything, and it just seems to gravitate towards the doom style. Very slow, very sludgy, very moody. But not to say that there won't be some elements of that in our music.
Yeah, there's nothing saying that we can't, get out some strings or get out like a mandolin or something of that nature and, do some interludes or even some intros or whatever to songs and still have those elements in place that kind of make it folk metal-ish kind of. But, no, I think you're right. We've kind of really coalesced on one particular style, and that would be the doom metal style because of that heavier, sledgier kind of. Because the folk metal side of it, going back and listening to a lot of to revisit a conversation we had earlier today, involving Insafirum, I used to love those guys.
Right.
Well, they've started incorporating a lot of stuff, a lot of like weird march music,
Yeah, like everything sounds. They want to make every song sound like, oh, this is what you would listen to if there were CD players back then, and you were going to war on the battlefield.
Yeah, but after it just gets really monotonous really fast.
Yeah, and it's almost kind of starting to affect Tear for me as well.
Yeah,
like, shit.
You're right. They have these perfectly laid out vocal and full chorus harmonies.
Yeah. That you won't get live.
No, and it's really kind of it grates on my nerves, whereas it didn't used to. Insafirum, needless to say, and I guess they have a new one coming out before long.
Yeah, Two Worlds.
Yeah, but they've been incorporating more of that and getting away from some of the raw, heavier stuff that I really kind of enjoyed.
Yeah.
Long story short, though, is they are still pretty much considered to be a folk metal act because of all their incorporation of older instruments. Again, we're not going to not incorporate that, but it's not going to be a trademark.
Right. It's not going to be what we focus everything on.
So, I think I'm good on the metal side.
Yeah. Quick complaint. Paul Bear Live, if you're listening, get those fucking vocals in tighter, please, and give us some harmonies.
Well, now to be fair, it was crowd shot video that we were watching on YouTube. I don't think they've got any official of their own, video up. So that might be a starting point. Get your own video up and, by God, start fucking harmonizing like you do on your records.
That is what makes those songs so goddamn moving.
Yeah.
Is his ability to fucking sound that great, but it is him singing over himself.
That's the problem, is because you go in studio and you got nobody else in the band that can sing. It's like, all right, well, I'll just harmonize with myself and put in like a 2 or 3 part harmony over the lead vocal.
Right.
And well, yeah, then that means you're kind of fucked when you go live, unless. Well, see, and then that puts a great burden on the drummer. I was going to say, because then maybe at that point, then you try to go ahead and sync up and just go MIDI, and with that, and it would just play back the harmony section, in which you could do that. But If the drummer is even off a little bit, then it's going to come off really screwy.
Yeah, it's going to sound really bad.
Yeah.
I mean, they have the ability to do it. Paul Bearer does. Same thing like Blind Guardian, Hansi Kirsch, singer of that. You listen to a Blind Guardian album, you are going to hear some very, very beautiful, very powerful harmonies on there because it's him layered over himself about 4 or 5 times.
Yeah.
You go see him live. I saw him in Albuquerque years ago. It was just him singing, and it lost a lot of the punch for me.
Well, there are harmonizing pedals. There are harmonizer pedals that are out there.
Yeah.
I know a guy who's a trop rocker out in California that does that, Jerry Montag. And he does. I mean, first time I saw him use that, I went, oh, Jesus, because he had me sitting in with him.
Yeah.
Because he's wanted me to play leads. What the hell is this? I mean, it is. It's like a wall of sound of great harmonies.
Wow.
So the gear is there.
Does it sound electronic, though?
Kind of. But with Paul Bearer would benefit because they can cover up the part of it that sounds a little fakey. The rest of the music would cover that little part because it's kind of thin.
Yeah.
It's noticeable on trop rock. I'm not going to lie. But I really think...
if you can layer it in on a fucking doom metal track.
Yeah, I think it would work. But that's just my 2 cents. You know, I'm not trying to get all nerdy on you on music this week. Maybe I am. Fuck you. Fuck you. Yeah,
fuck you, all right?
No, but it is a serious complaint. I mean, I want to see those guys live, but I know that I'll leave disappointed.
Yeah, I don't know. It might be one of the things like we see him live and then it doesn't bother us. It's just from what because I mean we're familiar with the albums hugely,
right.
So when we hear him live, it's still a little weird to our ear. I still think the lack of harmonies does him no favors.
Yeah.
But actually being there at a live show, you might not even fucking notice it.
Well, and at least they don't have to worry about marketing themselves to 1/2 of the population.
Yeah. Don't go pick up a broad at a doom metal show.
There are no ladies present.
None to be found. I think we had more good-looking ladies at our gig than Paul Bearer does at theirs.
Yeah, well,
because we had one.
I think so. All right, moving on the MMA side, I think...
the great drought begins. No fucking fights till next month.
Yeah. Well, I do have one topic, though. I don't know. Who's the guy that does, like, the Monday morning MMA podcast? Got a chick's name?
Oh, Ariel Helwani?
Yeah. So Ariel had on Ian McCall.
Yeah.
Guy fights flyweight. We've always been impressed with him. He goes by the moniker
when we get to see him fight.
Uncle Creepy. He keeps having fights canceled on him. Well, but here's the other thing, too, is that he's kind of been diagnosed. His brains are a little messed up.
I was reading about that, yeah.
So he's having some weird magnetic resonance, or not a resonance, some kind of a magnetic treatment. It's like 6 weeks long. And actually the cat that handles all the USADA stuff for the for the UFC, he's the one that recommended it, Jeff Nowitzki.
Really?
Yeah. And so he's doing this. He said he hopes it'll all turn out okay. He does think he's a little better than he was, and he's got 4 weeks to go. But no, he's really, really worried that all the shots to the dome throughout his lifetime will come back to haunt him and make him hurt his family because there's another fighter that happened to.
Right. I mean, it's starting to happen to these football players from the 70s and 80s now.
Yeah. So
90s as well. But when I read about it, I didn't know about the treatment, but he was thinking about hanging it up, calling it good.
Well, and he might still. I think that is the concern. And he said nobody talks about it, but every fighter does reach this point in their career where they start asking themselves some questions, and he's there. So we may not see...
like the Brendan Schaub thing. Only Rogan really kind of helped him out to find the door.
Well, they had to like, have an intervention for Big
That's
Brown.
basically what it was. Yeah, like because I don't know, was Callan up onto it? Did he know about it beforehand?
Fuck that guy. I don't care. But but that's the serious thing. They're starting to really find out. I mean, as much as it's a sport we love, oh my God, it's a sport that's really causing some really irreparable damage to some of our favorite guys.
Yeah. I mean, usually it's like shit. I mean, they know they're getting into some very combat sport. Going to be head wounds, head injury, trauma for sure. But back in the day, they were getting compensated for it pretty well. Now they're not.
Yeah, well, and now to his credit, Ian McCall didn't say anything about the UFC. He said they've been nothing but helpful the whole way along. But Man, I don't know. I mean, I really kind of feel bad for kind of questioning Rumble for getting out when he did. I mean, okay, well, it's still,
but he
it's
did
still
the
a
whole
little
Bob Sapp thing of like promoting a fight to be something great, and then you go in there and just curl your head and fucking die on the ground.
Yeah, well, he had to support his company. He had to invest in, so,
Yeah, no, he's still a dick. I'd never tell him that to his face.
Yeah, well, he'd probably still throw some pretty heavy hands. So
Yeah, he broke my heart.
Conor McGregor fight 2 weeks from tomorrow. I'm sure we'll cover that in depth.
Yeah.
Tomorrow we'll cover it in depth, like in great depth, I think, the Friday after that.
Right.
So.
They are, they have put in an application to use 8-ounce gloves instead of 10.
Instead of the 10. So, okay, so it's going to be a lot lighter.
Yeah.
Well, that's advantage McGregor then, right?
Well, it looked like it was supposed to be like an advantage for Floyd because you can only rock the 10-ounce gloves if you're fighting at like 135.
Okay.
And they're going to be fighting at 147, I think.
Oh, really?
147
I didn't
pounds.
know they were cutting that far down. God, McGregor looked awful last time he cut to 145.
Yeah, it's still a pretty tough cut. Actually, I might have that backwards. Might be fighting at 157.
I thought they were fighting like around the lightweight.
Yeah,
and not
think you're
featherweight.
right. So, but basically, the thing is, if you're going to use smaller gloves, you got to wait.
So you have to get a waiver from the Athletic Commission, probably?
Yeah, I guess they're going to talk about it, which is really weird, man. I mean, this is like fight's 2 weeks away, and they're going to talk about it on the 16th.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, so now I'm going to have 10 days to train with different gloves.
Right.
I don't know.
Advanced pay-per-view has already exceeded 60 million.
60 million buys or $6 million?
Bucks.
Oh, okay.
Wow. Advance. Who's crazy enough out
Holy
this far
shit.
out? I mean, because, hey, one of them doesn't make weight, falls down, has to be taken to the hospital or whatever. You're out $100, my friend.
Yeah, that's like pre-ordering a UFC. Like if you pre-ordered UFC 213,
yeah, no,
you got burned.
You can't do it. That's I mean, every pay-per-view we do, I do it like
Day
right
of.
before, right?
Yeah.
Not even day of. I mean, it's like right before.
Because I mean, shit, there's some times where fights even get canceled day of.
Yeah. Well, which we've seen lately.
No kidding.
But nonetheless, probably time for us to wrap it up. There is really no MMA to talk about. I mean, I think there's some LFA stuff going on tonight.
CES is on tonight. Gooch
okay.
versus Coutinho. I'm going for Gooch.
You got to go Gooch. I want to see some Gooch.
I want to see me some Harry Gooch tonight. I hope your first name's Harry. And if your name is Harry Gooch, then you are my new favorite fighter. Fuck off, Sam Alvey. You're my new favorite. I'm a Gooch man myself.
That's it for us this week. We'll get right back with you heathens again next week, where we kind of do it all over again. Probably a little less wiped out next week, following our activities of the day.
Yeah, no shit.
But nonetheless, though, thanks for everybody that's been supporting us through. Some of you through the years. Thanks again for that. And again, we like to appreciate Ruben for inviting us up to play a gig today. Playing live is a little bit of a different animal, but it's a fun time.
Yeah, good to meet LJ. Good to meet the dudes in Hemisaurus. Good time all around.
You bet. Well, that's it for the Mead, Metal, and MMA podcast, brought to you by Echoes of Ancients. And we're going to go ahead and drink a few beers.
I love you all.
Yeah, well, you're lying.
Oh, man. Can you hear it in my voice, too? Shit.
We'll see you next week, you heathens.
Peace.